Oh, thank you for watching. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Oh, let me just fix this up really quick. Is a little bit late right now, so let me just get this quickly set up. Neil's late, and he usually starts running this thing, so it's a little bit broken right now. But good morning, everybody. Good morning. We should be able to fix this up pretty quickly. We're seeing here George, Christian, Smoky Duck, Pa, and everybody else welcoming to the stream. So let me just hurry up Neil here, as he's the one who usually runs this thing. And he's going to come in. He's going to start screaming at me. You know how Neil is. But hopefully everybody's having a good day. Let's see what we have here. Let me fix this damn thing. So give me one quick second. Let me try to fix this thing. He has some weird ass stuff here. Let's see. Showtime. Is this better? Nope. This is worse. It should be welcome here. So can I pull? My goodness, Neil. Why does he make this so damn complicated? I'm just trying to remove this damn text that you guys see here. Where's Couch? Couch is going to be 2 minutes late, so we can wait for the extra 2 minutes here. He should be up. What's up, Sorg? What's happening here? Babylon, amateur hour with Jose until Neil gets here. That's what's happening here. Good morning. I mean, Neil's going to want to talk about Nebius. I know we did get some form of Nebius news recently. But let me, why is Neil taking forever? Texting him really quick. But yeah. No, Neil should be back. I should be streaming on all my channels, and Neil should be on his channels too. But we're waiting here. We're waiting for Neil. Let's see. Kevin was thinking of buying 100 shares of Nebius. You think it's still okay time to buy? I think we're going to definitely hear Neil from this. I mean, right now, CoreWeave and Nebius have both kind of taken a nice rally. I mean, yesterday, right, CoreWeave was up about 9%. And I mean, CoreWeave was up about 15%. Nebius was up about 8%. So I think the risk to reward ratio is kind of escaping a little bit more on the risk side. James St. Jose, is GitLab a buy? I know you have some. Yeah, so this has become one of my big positions in my overall portfolio. Let's see. I like it under 50s. Today is earnings on this, right? So we do have earnings today. I mean, I like it over 50, but it is one of those high growth plays. And it's one that could be very, very volatile after earnings. I like it. I bought under 50s. I'm super, super excited. I agree. Let's see, Smoky Duck. I'm guessing this is regards to CoreWeave and Nebius. I do feel like that might be it right now. It feels like chasing. The only thing that I would say is sometimes the chase can keep on going, right? It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to stop. Sorry, let me just text Neil. Remove the sign. Okay, Neil is texting me. Give me one quick second. I don't know how to remove this thing. He's saying go to design. Design. All right, so overlay. There we go. There we go. Thank you, Neil. He's over here. Don't add me. All right. There we go. I don't know why Neil let this for the amateur hour. He should be on pretty soon. What's your price target from Seek05? What's your price target of AMD end of year? Minus 200. Difficult, but not impossible. I mean, I think with most stocks, it's not impossible. I mean, we saw AMD go from 200 down to like 100 in a year. I don't think I my long-term thesis is for the next 5 years, I do believe AMD is a multi-bagger, more than a 2xer, in my opinion. If that's going to happen this year, I don't know. But if you tell me in the 5 years, I believe that is the case. Let's see. Neil, orange peel. I like that saying. Do you own AMD? It is my first time making big money on the market on AMD. Nice. Yeah, I mean, AMD is usually known as what, the advanced money destroyer or the all money destroyer or whatever it is. But AMD, I mean, you're gonna get a lot of competition from companies like Nvidia, from companies like Intel. And you're always going to say, a lot of people are always going to say, hey, look, this is the number 2 player. Why would you ever invest in the number 2 player? But I do believe there's bullish opportunity for AMD in the long term. In forms of individual semiconductor stocks, that is my second biggest position. And Neil should be joining us pretty quickly. Oh, I see Neil also posted on X. I should do the X live streams as well. What is your highest long-term high growth stock? High growth stock. I mean, you could say Nvidia. I mean, I think Nvidia would be considered a growth stock, right? It's a $3 trillion behemoth, but it's growing revenues at what, 70% its data center market last quarter, year over year. So I still would consider that my highest growth conviction stock. Now, if you're talking about maybe a smaller company, Terrence, let me see. I don't know. I mean, right now, highest conviction, I would have to put Nvidia up there. I think AMD. I mean, AMD might not look like a growth story right now, but I think AMD is also going to be up there. Then in the software space, companies like GitLab as well. Seek over here, 5-year target on AMD is 400. What is that? That is almost is that $1 trillion market cap? Seek. I mean, 200 plus, yeah. 250, yeah. I don't know. 400 is definitely pushing it. I don't know if I believe AMD can become $1 trillion company in the next 5 years. Can it get close to it? Yes, but I don't know if it's there. Let's see. We have Terrence Seek. I told myself 5 years ago AMD could go 300 in 5 years at that time too. What was Terrence? What was the stock at that time? What was happening? 2000. We had just kind of started that COVID issue. I guess you might have seen kind of the massive demand for things like cloud infrastructure from computers. But I don't think anything is seeing the amount of spending level that we do see here with whatchamacallit, with AI investments, right? Even though AMD is definitely not the player here in the AI investments, And it's so funny. I'm pretty sure there's people on Twitter right now, because I see Neil live stream on is live streaming on X. Be like, why the heck is Jose live streaming on Neil's channel? I forgot to add my channel. I wonder if I can add it after in live stream, so I can also do that. But let's see. I just enter ASML in hopes it will reach all-time highs in 1 year period. You know, SJ, it's so weird. I've always think that 12 months seems like a long time, but in the investing world, 1 year seems like very, very short, right? In 1 year, so much can happen. So many volatile news, so much government interference, so much random sickness, so much macroeconomics that 1 year, I don't know, even as an investor, I think 1 year is such a short time. Whenever I think of a stock reaching some new levels, I always put it at like 3+, in my opinion. What's up, Jose? What's up, Sean? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Aaron, we got 300 on AMD by 2030. See, I could see that. I could see that 300 right now. That would be a market cap of what, like $600 billion, 600 give or take, current with its current space. I can definitely see that for AMD. I'm holding. I mean, I've been a long-term holder of AMD for a while. 2017, 2016, when the stock was like single digits. So it's one that hasn't ever, I mean, at the moment, hasn't given me a reason to sell the stock. So I'm going to keep holding. Lisa Su is definitely one of the GOATs out there. Not the GOAT, but one of them. Have you checked ELF? No, I'm usually not in the space I tend to invest in, right? So I haven't checked ELF, but we have taken quite a hit on that stock. I know when Neil comes on, we'll probably look at some charts here. This guy is super late. He better give me a great paycheck today. Nice, Taryn. So you bought AMD 2020 was 40.50. I mean, still, 5 years, and it's tripled. That's better than the market, right? On average, the market in 7 years it doubles. But if you got AMD at 40 fish in the, let's say, the 40s, right now it's at 120. That's triple. That's way better than the overall market by a nice amount of years. We got here Lord Sika. Palantir, $1 trillion company in 5 years. Just believe. Best believe. Nvidia's L, what do you say? I mean, this one is ripping, right? I don't know what the stock is doing right now, but at a company with a market cap of less than or near $1 billion, I do believe you're going to see these massive influx in movements. I would just say be careful with be careful with. So there is the growth opportunity, right? I mean, they've had this pretty cool partnership with Nvidia for producing kind of that 800 volt solution that is very much needed for the future of data centers here. So while I do see the growth case, I would say it's not an ultimate moat, right? They don't have an ultimate moat. There's definitely some competition in this space. So just be careful, especially with the overall excitement on it right now. Matthias, are you bullish on Vertiv, ticker VRT? I mean, the data center market obviously Vertiv provides AI infrastructure solutions. So I would say the thesis behind it, I am bullish. I don't tend to buy, I'm already very heavily invested in AI stocks, right? I mean, I have most of my portfolios AI companies, and I believe companies like Vertiv are just going to increase that exposure. So that's the main reason I'm not in it. But I can see the bullish thesis behind it. But I mean, we're going to look at some charts later when Neil comes on, if he ever comes on. I think valuations, right? Trades at similar valuations as some semiconductor names. And I'm more into the semiconductor game. So I would rather invest in tech companies than like a infrastructure play like Vertiv. But we do see some great partnerships with Nvidia. I think Nvidia has partnered with them to make sure that you're able to build these AI factories and these super data centers as quickly as possible. And that's pretty awesome. Let's see what else. Finally, oh my God, I can take a break. This guy, let it go for the amateur hour.
Yeah, I saw that you were stuck with thank you for watching. for a while.
Yeah, I was.
Barry started the stream, and the guy is like, "Oh, thank you for watching."
Thank you for watching. I'm out. What's going on, Neil?
For a semiconductor and tech investor, you're not that great with tech. I have to say, this was the litmus test, and you failed.
I'm not a streaming guy.
How's it going? No, I don't think it's 2:30. I was watching in the background. My meeting just was not supposed to last for an hour, and it did. So here we are. Big news, actually, AI-wise, in the last couple of days across the board.
Yeah. And this morning we got hit with something else. Meta, I don't know if you saw, Neil, Mark said it seems like he's restructuring his AI team.
Again, yeah. I mean, there's been restructuring do you think this is a sign of strength, or this is like a sign of, oh, we are behind, we should have done more with Llama 4, and now we're like, actually, maybe let's spend another 10, 20 billion or so on I don't know, engineers, scale AI, and whatnot.
I think, Neil, I mean, I've heard from the grapevines all over X and other platforms that maybe Llama 4 did not meet the expectations. So I don't know if is it a sign of fear? I don't know. I mean, previous Llamas were doing really good. So I think it's just a sign that this guy's willing to change things around if they don't work. And it seems like he gave it a one go, and it's like I think he's moving pretty quickly. So I'm excited, right? It's not like Apple that just yesterday still announced that Siri is delay or something like that, right? So I like it. It shows he's moving quickly. Talking about Apple, I don't know if you saw. I don't. What Google Pixel do you have, Neil? You have a Pixel, right?
Currently.
Are you able? Are you able to, like, when you're in calling someone that like, let's say, has the a store and you're looking for customer service, you can put on hold and the phone lets you know that, oh, look, you can now talk to them instead of waiting on hold for 20 minutes.
Do I have it? Because I have the Pixel 8, so maybe it's only from Pixel 9, but I'm not sure. To be honest, I barely call customer service folks, so I don't know. But going back to the Meta thing, I mean, first of all, like quickly finishing with that, like, first of all, like, they're basically buying talent, right? They're basically buying engineers, they're buying maybe potential future revenues with that, because all the rest, the data centers and all of that, they already have it. So that's already done. They're basically buying people to play on their playground. That's it, in my opinion. Is it worth 2 million a year for engineers or whatnot? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. But from the other side, from an engineer side, Scale AI or whatever, you are probably like seeing this as a huge opportunity for you to scale your own products, because you are now in the Meta ecosystem, which has billions of people. You're like, why not? Why not? But whatever I build here will be exposed to billions of users, so might as well do it. So that's my thought on that. Going back to Apple, I mean, I didn't even check what the famous analyst Dan Ives and Gene Munster has said, but I wouldn't be surprised if they suddenly came out as, again, cheerleaders and, wow, this new UI, UX redesign panels and widgets and whatnot are revolutionary and should push for another upgrade cycle. And this is why it's bad for Google. He always has to add that.
Wait, Neil, Dan's the one with the shirts,
Dan's
right?
the one looking like a pimp.
With, like, okay, he actually sounded a little bearish for Apple yesterday. I was watching a CNBC. Yeah, he says that he believes Apple has like less than 6 months to shift this AI thing around, as it's moving pretty slowly. So yeah, I thought that was a little bit. I feel like he's usually very bullish on Apple. So for him to have said that, I mean,
yeah, but well, I don't know. It was nothing nothing exciting. The last time something was exciting about Apple was, I think, a long time ago.
Were you not excited for the Apple Vision,
No,
or was it just the price point made it
yeah,
like almost
the
like what's
the
the
price
point?
point made it exactly. What's the point? Like, okay,
Yeah,
again,
yeah. Because obviously the more expensive anything is, obviously the more you expect from it. So I guess yeah, right. The price point kind of destroyed the expectations of that
yeah,
one.
it's great tech, fine, but what's the point if you're outpricing everyone? Um, so that didn't make much sense. We have here a couple of questions about Amazon and robotics from Martin, and I do see Amazon as a robotics player. I think last week we've had that report saying that they'll have humanoid robots as part of their last mile delivery. Now, whether that's going to be in the Rivian future, maybe Rivian autonomous vehicles, remains to be seen. But Amazon has been using robotics inside their facilities for a long time. With the humanoid robots, I don't know if they're going to be humanoid robots made by Amazon or if they're going to use others. Um, so that remains to be seen. But Amazon as robotics player is almost a certainty, I'd say, at this point. Bruno, Neil, happy with the victory of Portugal in Nations League. Well, I don't care much, but yes, I'm happy that my other self won a trophy.
All right, Neil. Let's see what else do we have here.
Did you talk about
Um,
TSM?
no. Oh yeah. So they did have numbers. I mean, we have some pretty cool news. We have TSM. Nebius announced something big yesterday that CoreWeave took all the money from in forms of stock price. We did see a lot of things yesterday too. So I don't know if you want to jump into TSM. I haven't even looked at the numbers yet. I just saw kind of some of the X post coming out that it did show its nice monthly growth again.
Yeah, so let me pull it up. As for Nebius, yeah, I mean we talked about it last week, right? Because this week is a big week for in Europe, Nvidia, Viva Tech. So we talked about it last week. We said there are probably going to be a couple of announcements being made, and Nebius did make an announcement. Nvidia talked about the UK as well, how that's going to be a huge opportunity going forward. So I'm not that surprised. I'm, of course, I'd say I'm not even surprised that the meme coin CoreWeave is taking more market gains than
Don't be mean to my CoreWeave.
than Nebius. But okay, so this is TSM. They released this morning. This morning I believe. So
Yeah.
on a consolidated basis, revenue for May was approximately, okay, this is in Taiwanese dollar, but a decrease of 8.3% from April 25, but an increase of 39.6% year over year. So still seeing some tremendous growth here year over year at TSM, which of course, are we surprised? Probably not, right?
No, no. Still, Neil. The only thing I wouldn't say I'm really surprised about is we do see right now year to date, so January to May 2025, year over year increase is that 42.6%. Again, this is in new Taiwanese dollar, so obviously forex exchange could impact it. But the company mentioned in last earnings that they're still just looking for mid 20s percentage revenue growth. So. Are they gonna update us on the next earnings? Because if not, there has to be some nice slowdown happening in the second half of this year, and maybe investors might not like that. But I'm pretty shocked to see it still so high in that 42 range, and eventually they're saying we should expect it to drop down to 25.
Yeah, I mean, this is of course great news across the board for all the other semiconductor players, um, especially the Nvidias and AMDs out there. So yeah, good news. Okay, I did a little decrease month over month, but the year over year increases are still there. So nothing to complain about.
And I think last month was a massive month for them. It was like one of the best months they've ever had. I think it was the best month they ever had. I don't know, Neil, if you can go up a little bit. They tend to share the monthly like charts as well.
Not in this one.
Nah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, this is just the same.
Maybe in that one.
No, just the same, just in
No.
PDF format, which is always very useful.
Yeah, they tend to have like a monthly revenue outlook, and you can kind of see how drastic it changes.
We can just look at the April
but
one.
that's okay. But yeah, yeah. April was for them 48% year over year increase. So yeah, they're still seeing. I mean, massive growth coming out here. I wonder what's really driving this push, Neil. Right there, in reality, there can only be two sectors that really drive this much revenue growth for TSM, and it's either data center or consumer PC and phones. So I think it's a little bit of both, but I want to see. I wonder if one of them is. I wonder if the consumer market is picking up a little bit more than others.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait. What is it now? 2 months, maybe a bit less than 2 months to get the next earnings report. I think a little bit less than 2 months. I think to get the next report. We've got Lennox saying, "I want to thank you too specifically. I'm 18 years old and this is my first year investing, but with your constant remarks about buying this dip all the way down, I went from being down 7K to now 12K, and he is up."
Hopefully, meant
he's up 22.
Now up 12K and not down. He's like, thanks to you, I was down 7K. Now I'm down 12K.
He's up 22% year to date. So I guess he's doing well. Congrats. We're happy we could.
Congrats, man. I mean, at 18 years old, I can't imagine ever being down 7K. I would be crying. I don't know where that money would be coming from.
What's 7K?
So, yeah, exactly. Would be selling a kidney. But so congratulations on entering the investing world at such a young age. It can easily, I would say, make you a lot of money by the time you're our old age of 30s. Well, Neil just turned 30,
31.
right, Neil?
I'm now
31.
Well, okay. Into the 30s.
Well, into the 30s.
Yeah. Seek05. Yes, I did a PayPal video. You should all go watch it, of course. I appreciate it. I appreciate the shout out. Should all go watch PayPal's video.
Yeah. My chat thing isn't working, Neil, so here on the stream thingy, so feel free to pull up all the questions.
Micron.
And if there's any nice comments about me, you feel free to share them too. I don't know if there's any. In my mind, there's not, but
yeah, are you not? You are connected, no?
I am, but for some reason it stopped refreshing. I don't know. Amateur hour, yeah. I told you.
Indeed. There was something. Yeah, I wanted to touch on this one thing for Google. Let's first touch on this and then go back to the Nebius part maybe. This from Google, just for those that still focus on the wrong things when looking at Google. So Google is no longer a search engine. It's becoming what Nicholas Thompson calls an answer engine. That's because users are increasingly getting what they need directly from the search page without ever clicking a link. And we can actually see this right here. Look at Business Insider, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, Huffington Post. They've all seen their traffic go down.
But when did AI? I mean, how much is this truly correlated to AI? Or how much is it really correlated to
them being bad?
Some other things like business. Yeah, like for example, maybe Business Insider is just bad, right? You can kind of tell that from April 2022. I don't think we had much, but the other players. I mean, you have kind of, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't. For me, I don't really know how much data this is really telling me.
This is. So here the Atlantic CEO said they are planning for Google traffic to fall to 0. The Washington Post is moving with urgency to build direct connections with readers and shift away from reliance on search. Good luck with that. The New York Times gets 36.5% of its traffic from organic search. That's down nearly 44% 3 years ago. Even the Wall Street Journal, which saw a bump in total traffic, reported the same. Reported that the same of traffic from search dropped to 24 from 29. All of that, of course, okay, not great for them, but that doesn't mean that people are using Google less. Because from everything that we've heard from Google and from Sundar more recently, which, by the way, Sundar and Demis from DeepMind, they've been going on podcasts relentlessly lately. So all the information there is that, well, search queries.
Did you watch the Lex podcast?
Not yet,
Neil?
no. This is
very,
very long. But no, this weekend I was also away. But yeah, it seems like there are more queries, search queries today, longer as well. So clearly, this is not a problem for Google, but a bigger problem for the others out there, which has always been the conversation, right? Because if nobody clicks on links anymore, how are those websites going to generate money? Because usually a lot of their websites are generating money from the ads placed on those websites. But if you're not clicking on those anymore,
Yeah. Well, bad time to own the website.
don't say that out loud.
Let's see. Any other questions, Neil? What we want to jump into? AMD saw a nice stock jump
Jose,
yesterday.
apparently your chat is member only.
Oh, really?
According to Mbappe.
Let's switch that. Thank you for letting me know. Let me see if that's true. Go to channels, edit. But yeah, Neil, while I get this fixed.
Yes, it is members only.
Did you see? Yeah. All right. Let me fix that. But you saw that the Xbox handheld that just got announced? You didn't?
No, I'm too focused on looking for a Nintendo Switch that's sold out that I don't really need. But
you don't need it. You don't need it. All right, you don't need it.
Xbox
handheld. Yeah, it's partnered up with the Asus ROG. I always call it ROG, but I'm pretty
Asus.
Oh, it is. There we go. All right, let me save this. All right, everybody on my stream should now be able to, well, subscribers, not just anybody.
Yeah.
Should be able to do it.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and
correct.
It's using the new AMD actually made a new chip. Are you familiar with the ROG Ally, Neil?
No, I'm only familiar with Steam Deck. The other one, I forgot the name.
Yeah, I think the Steam Deck too. I think they've all been using AMD, or they call it the Z1.
Yes,
the C. Now
which is what they presented last week, last year. No, I think we covered that.
Yeah. So now they announced the C2 on CES this year. So those are the ones that are actually going to be using, and now this Xbox ROG handheld is going to be using a new version of the C2 that is even going to have like an NPU into it, so you can even have some form of AI integrations with it. But it's another way, I guess, for AMD to kind of stay strong in the gaming market while it seems like it's no longer console too much. At least for now, it's becoming more of a PC handheld style. It does seem like it's a new market that definitely has some form of traction behind it.
Yeah, the handheld market in gaming is definitely gaining more traction in the last, I'd say, 2 years or so, which makes sense. I mean, to me, I don't know, the PSP, right, the PlayStation Portable one that launched, I think 20 years ago or something like that. Still the best. I don't know why Sony decided that, actually we should stop focusing on that. I don't know, a bit stupid, but yes, Steam Deck is doing fine. I think that's based on what I've heard. It's a good device. The Switch is killing it. I mean, the first Switch had the records. The new Switch is having records at the moment already. So yeah, I guess handheld is the way to go. But the Switch is a special thing because it can be handheld and it can also be connected to your TV. So it's a dual use console, which makes a lot of sense. But then again, Nintendo games are very, very like it's a niche because I don't think people will start playing Call of Duty on a Nintendo Switch. Although you never know,
Yeah, I think usually if I ever buy a Nintendo Switch, Neo, is because I feel like I need to play a Pokemon game, and then after playing it for 2-3 hours, it's like, all right, Nintendo Switch, thank you and goodbye.
You could play Mario Kart and lose.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good question here from Marco, and there was a question about whether I still own Tesla in my portfolio. I still own Tesla in my portfolio, yes. As you can see every Sunday. This is the first time my portfolio is earning since I started investing at the start of the year. How do you decide when to sell?
Yeah, go ahead, Neil.
I decide when to take profits, I'd say, if I feel uncomfortable with the market situation.
Yeah.
If I think that things have gone up for no reasons, quite a lot, then I decide to take profits. I decide to sell if I think I can put my money to use somewhere else, whether it's because it's super overvalued or whether it's purely because I found some other investment ideas that make more sense. Or if, of course, that investment turned out to be a bad one, then I'd probably sell. But that's I think I would think that's about it.
I agree, Neil, and I also believe at least for this seems to be a new Marco seems to be start investing at the beginning of the year, right? I still believe that's super early, and I think through experience you're gonna end up learning what your volatility or your emotion is with investing. If you start to be worried right now, it might mean that you feel like you're maybe too heavy in one sector, you're too heavy in one company. And that's usually when I start to get, if I ever start to get the jitters, Neo, in like my portfolio and worrying, oh man, is it time for me to sell? It means that maybe I'm too overextended into something, or I don't have the right bullish thesis that I thought I did. So at that point, maybe I trim a little bit, but it's only something you're going to learn through experience, Neil. And unfortunately, you have to learn what your emotions are in your portfolio, what you're comfortable holding, how much you're comfortable holding. So, I mean, if you 2-3x'd in a month, I can see why. If you 10-20% x'd in 6 months, I don't know if I would be selling.
Yeah, a bit like the CoreWeave situation, basically.
Yeah, exactly. CoreWeave. I mean, CoreWeave, right? 3-4 bagger, depending on when. Seems like a no-brainer for me to sell.
I mean, take profits.
Take profits. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. JJ here, thank you for a super chat. Sorry, off topic, but thoughts on GitLab. Well, GitLab is reporting, what day are we?
Today.
Tuesday. So today,
yeah,
after hours. Oracle is tomorrow, Jose, by the way.
By the way, yeah.
You're a fan of GitLab, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for earnings, Neil. I mean, one of the big things for a lot of the companies that I like to own are not necessarily, it's like a way of a snap test. I know there's this kind of test that I think it's usually talked about in other medias, where if that company was to disappear, how sucky would it be for the people using it, right? Or for the overall market. And if it's very, very sucky, then it being a really good investment. So GitLab, it's very crucial for the development of software tools and solutions. When I used to be back in my engineering days, all the software engineers that I knew used GitLab. There was no run about it. So I saw the stock IPO. It recently kind of took a hit to like the 40s, and I started messaging some of my software engineers. And first thing I did, Neil, was like, "Yo, if GitLab was gone tomorrow, how much would you hate your job?" And we'll be like, "Yeah, you know what? It's actually very crucial. I would actually hate it." There are some solutions out there that could help me out, but nothing as integral as GitLab. So I also looked at the recent press release. I mean, they're adopting AI solutions very quickly, and I think in the software space right now, Neo, that's something you have to really, really focus on. I think someone asked a question about the AI and software companies. If I think right now, if software companies don't start to implement some form of AI solutions, they are going to be left behind pretty quickly. So I think it's good. I like it. It is my biggest non-semiconductor position in my portfolio right now, Neil. So yeah,
So
I'm
you
hoping
are
for
quite bullish
earnings.
going into the report.
Yeah. I mean, but obviously this is recent IPO, Neil. With recent IPOs, with kind of still growth companies, I think it's less than $10 billion. Volatility can be very, very high. But I think long term there is opportunity from what I'm seeing right now.
Okay, well, fair enough. I guess you will cover it in one of the updated videos on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned for that. Couch investor from Sven/Homer. You still owning
Slash
Intel?
Homer.
Please explain. Oof, we don't have enough time for me to explain. It's basically a turnaround story that is taking a bit longer than what I previously expected. But if it works out, then a good Intel is worth, like we keep saying, good Intel is worth probably a couple of hundreds of billions of dollars. Since
Mm-hmm.
it is under $90 billion still, that would make it a nice multi-bagger for me in the future. Of course, if it works out, if they execute correctly, I think a lot of the questions will be answered at the end of 2025. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and I'll sell and I'll walk away and move on. Because again, I have no emotional attachment to my Intel position. It's just that I think that they can turn it around, which is why I hold them. But if I'm convinced that they cannot, goodbye, thank you very much, and I'll probably put that money elsewhere. But this year is a crucial year, which again, back half of the year, I think would give me more answers for sure.
Yeah, Neil, I don't own Intel, but I agree. I believe it's a turnaround story that is still possible. And if it is, and if it does succeed, it could be very strong for investors. It definitely would take time for it to show that story. And even after it shows the story, it might take some time before investors even approve the story, right? I think that's also going to be a distinction where I think right now we're getting a kind of at least some momentum that the story is true, but the stock itself really hasn't agreed with it. For me, Neil, I think I've talked about it in the past. This is one of those stocks that I really wouldn't want to put cash down in forms of holding individual stocks, but buying very cheap, completely out the money calls multiple years ahead of time, I think isn't the worst idea, because if this is a turnaround story, I can see this 2xing, 3xing. So I'm pretty sure like a 40 call a year or 2 years from now is probably less than $100 or so. And if this is a turnaround story, I think something like that could be one of those like lotto plays, but can have still some opportunity if it's true. And if it's not, then I didn't put all my money in a company that not all my money, but some amount of funds in a stock that didn't move too much.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's maybe where I could change my strategy, is to move from shares to calls,
Mm-hmm.
like 2 years out calls, because I could put less dollars, yet get the same returns, if not more, if it of course hits
Mm-hmm.
that price target. Of course, holding options is not free, but that could be a change in strategy, which is a bit like what Bill has done with his Nike position, right? He sold his pure share position,
Mm-hmm.
went with options. So that could be a good strategy change for me. going forward. But yeah, Ariel is here asking where his AMD share is at. Well, technically speaking, you own us. You owe us 2 subscriptions at the moment because it's at $121, which has twice already that it's been over 120. So welcome again, and I'll see you at 150 later this year, my friend, and then I will see that little badge next to your name. Subscribe to the channel.
150, Neil? You think so by the end of the year?
Actually, depending on what they say tomorrow or in 2 days, we'll see.
And Neil, I mean, another stock that's been, I don't know if you want to jump into Nebius really quickly. It does seem the stock is down a bit after hours, but yesterday some interesting news came out yesterday with Nebius.
Yeah, it comes also just after, or maybe at the same time that Jensen was in the UK, right? He talked with the Prime Minister. He talked about the infrastructure that's happening in the missing infrastructure, I'd say, in the UK, and how that's a big opportunity. And then Nebius basically came out and announced that the UK is going to be basically the next location for them for their AI infrastructure build out. So now we are a bit all over the world at the moment for Nebius, and it's not surprising, and I don't think we are done with the announcements for Nebius. The data center is going to have 4,000 Nvidia Blackwell GPUs, I believe, for now.
Blackwell Ultras.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be quite interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if we have, because they're already in France, but maybe we're going to see some expansion there.
Expansions, yeah.
Yeah. Especially because of Nvidia, right? Because this again comes right after or just at the same time as Jensen was in the UK, and he's talking about data center build-outs in the UK, and then suddenly you have Nebius. So clearly they have a very close partnership and connection between the two, because otherwise the timing here would not have been like, the timing was perfect, and the stock jumped. So
a few things that got me excited, Neil, was first, like you mentioned, these are going to be Ultras, Blackwell Ultras. So it does seem like they are definitely in a nice queue when it comes to when they're going to get these chips, because they mentioned these data centers. The first phase is going to start already having chips and revenue running by the fourth quarter of this year. And that actually got me pretty excited for Nvidia, because if they're expected to have them running by the fourth quarter, it takes some time for them to get the chips. It takes some time to kind of get the systems run up. So it tells me that Nvidia is actually going to start shipping maybe some of these Blackwell Ultras a nice ramp production quarter 3. I mean, we did hear from earnings that quarter 2 they're going to start shipping some. But I think Blackwell Ultra is going to be pretty nice in forms of where it's going to be ramping. The other thing, Neo, is I always find it funny. Jensen is the playboy of countries, in my opinion. Every time he goes to an individual country, he's like, you guys are the smartest AI engineers that I know. You guys have the best education and the best money. I find it funny because he said that. He says that obviously here in US. He says it in China when he went to Japan, when he went to now in UK. Obviously, all those places do have individual talents. I mean, UK, you have that Cambridge, super famous university. ARM started in UK, so you do have kind of that talent in the semiconductor industry. But I just find it funny how Jensen says the same lines no matter where he goes. It's like when you go to the when you go to a concert in general, they're like, "This was the best city we performed at." Jensen just does the same thing.
Great salesman.
Great
salesman for sure. But yeah, no, exciting time. I've seen a couple of news which regards to autonomous vehicles as well. So we've got here some
hold on, Neil. I'll be right back. I need a refresh page. So if I'm gone for a second, be right back.
No problemo. We had a couple of testing approvals or permits giving out to Waymo, Tesla, Zoox, AV Ride, which is owned by Nebius as well, for to operate AVs in Austin. So pretty good news, and you are back. Very good. We've had another announcement for Uber more recently, actually today, that Uber and Wave are partnering to launch the first ever public road trials for level 4 driverless vehicles in London. So again, Uber here making sure that they are in this AV race, and it's definitely not slowing down. It seems for them. So great news for Uber, and I do think that they have. Where is that? For the first time in a while, I have way too many tabs open. They are going to acquire Taiwan's Crown Taxi. What do they do? I didn't know. Apparently, this is a taxi firm in Taiwan that they've been working with Uber since 2017, and it's Taiwan's biggest taxi operators. So I guess this is a way for Uber to acquire huge fleets and then in the future probably transform those into autonomous fleets as well. So yeah, Uber making moves. Of course, over the weekend we've had that the riots, I guess, in LA, burning down Waymos, because that makes total sense. Not great for Waymo, but I'd say not great for the people there either. I don't know how that's going to evolve, because that's definitely something. Because today with drivers in the car, I guess the fact that there's a human in the car, maybe you have less of a desire to start burning the car down. But with no driver in the car, I guess it's going to be very easy to start spraying graffiti on those cars. So I don't know how everyone's going to solve that problem, unless you maybe
just put a mannequin.
Or, a humanoid robot, and then we start a robot war. But yeah.
And Neil, I can't still. I see chat now, but I can't grab it here. There's this interesting question that came out it was at 8:50. Well, what I'm seeing here, maybe it's actually not. But Qualcomm, if you are bullish on wearable devices, would you be bullish on Qualcomm? My question is, if you were bullish on wearables, would Meta or Qualcomm benefit more? This is probably earlier than 8:50, Neil. Chat is a little bit weird for me here on stream right now, but I do think if you are bullish in AI wearables, Qualcomm is probably going to be the play that's going to benefit the most. I mean, Meta is definitely a player here that's creating forms of AI wearables with the glasses. We're seeing Google do it, but most of those chips, Niels, are powered by some form of Snapdragon or some form of Qualcomm chip. So I think Qualcomm can definitely be a strong player here if you are very bullish in AI wearables. But I do think AI wearables, Neil, is going to take maybe a little bit longer than maybe some of the other AI tech we're seeing. But I do believe that will be a massive customer.
No, I agree. I mean, it has been an underperformer, I'd say, apart from Intel. But it's important to know that Qualcomm was never trading at super high multiples. But it's a company that is growing, doing very well, very profitable. And yeah, if we are going to go into widespread wearable devices, Qualcomm is definitely going to be a huge, huge winner. They're basically in every Android phone, I think, right now. And maybe even they're also in iPhones at the moment, but that can change with the modem in a couple of years. So yeah, Qualcomm, I think. Plus, they pay dividend, they buy back shares, so they get some shareholder value through that. Homer asking, Sven asking, now you are talking about Uber. What are your thoughts about Grab? I don't think Uber will take over Asia. Well, important to know that Uber does own, I think, around 13% of Grab. So yeah, Uber doesn't need to take over Asia. If Grab is successful, Uber's investment in Grab will be successful as well. Plus, Asia is very big. Okay, Asia is very big. There's Asia, there's Southeast Asia specifically. So Asia is very big. What are my thoughts on Grab? Well, I talked about Grab, I think, before anyone even knew this company existed. I think in October of 24 or something like that. I like the company. I think what they're doing is very good. It's what they have to do. I read yesterday that at the moment they're not looking to acquire Goto, but that who knows, that might change in the future. But Grab is doing what they should be doing. Of course, if you want exposure in that region, there is Grab, there is C Limited. Of course, not apples to apples, but yeah, I'm bullish on Grab. The only reason I don't have a position in Grab is because I get that exposure through Uber. So I don't need an extra player. By the way, Jose, I read something very interesting, funny, maybe sad as well, all at the same time. Us us as Google shareholders, we own more SpaceX than Tesla shareholders.
Oh wow,
because
that's wild.
Tesla shareholders own 0 of SpaceX, and Google owns, I think the last time I checked was 9% or something. Obviously, that has changed now with the amount of money that they've raised. But clearly, we own shares of a percent of SpaceX through our Google shares. So yeah.
That's pretty well. Yeah, my wife. I was just looking at my phone. My wife just sent me breaking news. She saw that Costco, Neil, is gonna allow the high tier members to enter an hour earlier, so you don't have to kind of stay in because Costco's been packed lately. So
like a conference.
Yeah, it's you get an hour early shopping, and she's very much excited about that because obviously we have to have Costco.
It's actually a genius idea.
Yeah, it actually is. In the report says that only 7% of the members are actually the high tier, which I don't understand. I mean, they give great perks, but
yeah,
let's keep it that way. Like that, I don't have a lot of competition.
Yeah. Question or commenting question. Neil, you think AST has already run up a lot? I was watching it too after your video, but I could not open a position. Are you planning to? Yeah, so I saw that again. My timing could not have been better with this one. So I see that the stock is now at $34. I think when I released my video, it was 24, so it's up almost 50% still since. Not bad, couch manipulator. But
I'm gonna call SECO.
No, I have no position in AST. As I said time and time again, my exposure will be good enough with Rocket Lab, which has also run up quite a lot more recently. But no, AST, as I said, is a good way to get exposure to that space, future space economy as well, which is why I made that video, especially since a year ago I was less bullish on the company because of the price, less because of, I guess, execution. Now it made a bit more sense to me to come back and share the opinion where I'm a bit more positive on it and why the price makes a bit more sense. Although when I started talking with other people that follow it a lot, and they start saying that, well, the future expectations of the company, which was $5 billion or so in 2030, was an estimate that was conservative. I don't know, going from 0 to 5 billion is not that conservative in my opinion, but these things can of course move very, very quickly. I think Starlink this year is expected to generate $15 billion. That's more than double of last year. $15 billion, that's more than Rocket Lab is worth today. So definitely a lot of money to be made, but it's all about execution, permits, launch, and all of that.
Yeah, Neil, man, I lost there was a question here that I saw. Oh, going back to Uber, Neil, right? You talked about Grab and how Uber owns some Grab there. Here in the comments, I'm at SSB also mentioned that India has Ola cabs, and Uber holds a 10% stake in Ola. I'm not sure how true this is, but also mentions that while Ola holds a 26% stake in Uber, so it's some form of inception there. The other thing, Neo, is we did see, I think in the last 2 weeks, Uber did announce a partnership with like a form of similar platform in Latin America. I forget what it's called. Eats. Man. But it seems like this is Uber's way of international expansion. Again, is more going to be through these types of partnerships instead of putting itself out there. It's let's see, Uber relations website. Uber, no, here we go. iFood. Uber and iFood announced strategic partnership in Brazil. That was about a month ago. So iFood is one of the world's leading food delivery plays in Brazil. So now the partnership will allow iFood users to book Uber rides directly from iFood app, while Uber users will gain access to iFood's food, grocery, pharmacy, and convenience delivery services with the Uber app. So it's pretty cool to see kind of that partnership internationally when like, hey, you're the leader in this type of delivery. I can offer your customers this type of thing, and you offer your customers this, and we can kind of collaborate in that region. So I find that pretty interesting, Neil. And then some other things with Uber that I saw. I, not a big deal, but I saw they had like the senior accounts that they just announced about a week ago.
Senior accounts?
Yeah, it's like a simple mode. So you know how Uber app
Okay.
has like so many things. So it's like it has a simplified booking. It's a redesigned app. I don't know if you've seen like some, I'm not saying all seniors, so just in case some seniors are watching, some seniors prefer maybe a more simple UI
Yeah, that makes
approach to so
sense.
many buttons. So yeah, I actually think that was a pretty cool move there.
I mean, that's great. Makes sense. I think when there were those rumors that Uber might acquire Expedia at one point, because Dara was previous CEO of Expedia, and then maybe that's their way of expanding the Uber ecosystem. People were saying, yeah, but that would ruin the user experience on the Uber app. Like you go on Uber, the only thing you want is a ride. You go on Uber Eats, you want to eat. You don't need that extra hotel booking stuff and whatnot. So yeah, makes sense.
Let's see, we got any questions here, Neil? So we have one in my channel. Marvell Technology network chips will grow along with Nvidia. Any thoughts? I mean, I think yes, both Marvell and Broadcom. We're seeing as just data centers need more form of networking connections, northeast, south and north, and east to west. You do see the opportunity for companies like Marvell and Broadcom to benefit. I mean, Broadcom just announced the new Tomahawk 6. I forget what's the Marvell name of their competition there, so I'm pretty sure Marvell is going to announce something cool. Marvell does have their AI event coming up, Neil. I think it's this upcoming Tuesday, so 7 days from now. And I'm pretty sure they might announce something similar there. So I do think Marvell Technology can grow with it, but you do have that competition with Broadcom in this space. And this is kind of like another Marvell is the AMD to Broadcom's Nvidia, is how I would put this here.
Yeah, no, I agree. Don't know what this drama is all about with Amit and stuff like that in chat, but I don't know. People want us to see an MMA match, Neil and Jose against Amit and Steve. I don't know who Steve is, but I'll take him. Adobe, what are your thoughts on Adobe? Adobe reports this week, right?
When
I
Thursday,
believe.
I think.
Yeah, Thursday. So we'll share our thoughts on Thursday or the stream afterwards. Probably another record quarter, right? So questions about AI monetization is going to be the topic of discussion for Adobe. I do wonder since we are sort
Yes.
of a market open show, I just have to check if there is anything
It
particular
was
happening pre-market.
with Adobe, Neil. One thing that really caught my attention is if you look at valuations right now, I think like current PE ratios is like 20, or forward PE ratios are in the 20s now, which I find it pretty unique for a software play, right? I think most software companies with high free cash flow, even if they're not growing at crazy levels, because of that free cash flow margin, because of just the overall strength of a subscription based company, you tend to see forward PE valuations in the 30s, and this one's actually sitting in the 20s. So I found that interesting and makes me want to double think. Well, not double think, but makes me want to say, hey, do I want to get back into Uber now that I've invested into my growth plays, per se?
Okay, no, fair enough. I don't know. Jose, do you know who Steve is? People are like, you know Steve, keep Steve out of this. He's a voice of reason. Who is Steve?
I don't know. I think he might be the dividends guy. I don't know. I think
Oh,
the guy was with Nvidia. I mean, it usually
also with
pulls
the
up a lot of people that
bricks.
I don't know. Oh, yes. I think
Okay,
so.
okay.
Yeah. Only ones I really know in the stream world are you, Amit, and now Tanner. Tanner, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Going back to stocks. Don't know how we switched to cage matches now, but okay. um,
Um,
Pre-market, we are green, but I mean green flattish. Uh, yeah,
are you
green
waiting
flat.
for anything, Neil? Are you expecting any good news today from this U.S. and China talks? I mean, we had some yesterday. We've heard that it's going good. We heard that it's happening again today. Um, Thoughts on this? What are you have any expectations to this, or is it just more? Oh, we got another good news. We'll talk about it in another 2-3 weeks from now.
I guess as long as it's not bad news, it's good news. So
Mm,
as long as we don't have bad news, I think it's good news. The fact that this meeting is again going on even today, I could consider it as good news. Um, but as we've seen before, things can escalate. One tweet here, one tweet there, and we're back to square one. Although we had posts before, and suddenly they're meeting again. So clearly, the posts are just for show, and that's about it. Uh,
mhm.
so that's that. I think we have a CPR report as well um, tomorrow. I think tomorrow, yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah,
So yeah, we'll see that.
and there were also some reports, Neil, that the Scott is able to kind of use trade restrictions as a bargaining chip here with China. So if like, hey, look, we can actually remove this export restriction there if we can kind of come up with the deal. Um, Obviously, export restrictions in to US and China is more than just semiconductors. There's a lot of other different things. But do you believe there's an opportunity for maybe some AI chips to make it back to China, or for you, Neil, is because it's not only important for Nvidia, right? We saw AMD take a hit of it as well. Um, as an AMD investor, do you put AI chips now in China like a no longer thing, or do you see these as opportunities for them to be turned back on?
No, I think currently the smart thing I think would be for investors to be saying it doesn't exist anymore, right? Just
Hmm.
like Jensen has said, the business doesn't exist anymore. So at least you start from zero, right? Because it cannot get worse than this. So if they are allowed to suddenly sell other chips to China again, great. We can start adding that to our expectations. But if not, which I think would be a mistake, then yeah, we stay at zero, and we hope that they can make up for the lost revenue through other places like the UAE and Saudi Arabia. But hopefully they'll be allowed to sell back to China. I've seen that rare earths are the topic of discussion with China, so I guess we're going to see some. Okay, we remove this, but we get access to that, or we add this and we you remove that. Yes, so I think that's going to be a topic of discussion. And to touch here on the comment from Josh again, it's not about. It's what I keep saying. It's not about the tariffs per se. It's about having trade deals. You don't need
Hmm.
tariffs if you have a good trade deal. That's the
Hmm.
whole point of this whole thing. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely interesting. I mean, pretty excited though. We have it sucks that GTC China, GTC not China, GTC France is
Paris.
not going to happen. Paris is not going to happen till 4 o'clock. It's going to be 4 o'clock my time, so I don't think I'm going to watch it live 4 in the morning my time.
AM. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, we'd love to see any updates of things like AI factories and how just the AI world is moving international. Um, I can definitely see that growth case, Neil, like we talked about earlier for like Nebius in the international market. But yeah, curious to see how these trade talks with China, completely different topics there, but play out today. And I do believe it could be bullish for a lot of semiconductor companies in general.
Yeah, Vidbin is saying that Nvidia is coming up with B300 for the Chinese market. Bandwidth is lower than H20. I think it's something you talked about on your channel, I believe, yesterday.
Yeah. I don't know if it was yesterday, Neil, but for Nvidia, the P300, we have heard reports that Nvidia is thinking of using something else instead of HBM, just using kind of your consumer-based DDR7, I think we are in, for it. And because it's not as good as HBM, you do see kind of some loss in bandwidth, which would kind of, in theory, make it past the regulations. But I think right now the United States is definitely using chips as a bargaining tool. So while they set a standard, Nvidia still needs to say, even though it might be under the standards, they are still going to need to talk to the US government to make sure, hey, look, if we put this chip into the market, are you guys just going to re-update the export restriction laws? So I think while it is coming to the China market, it's still going to be very much dependent on what US it has to say.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you have stop losses on your stocks, or you don't think it's necessary?
Neil, for 99.99% of my stocks, I don't. If I was to ever add a stop loss, it would be for like a core weave position that I just like started where it like ballooned like nothing. In a matter of no time. So just to lock in some gains, I would put stop losses on that. I might be thinking put stop losses, but normally no, Neil. I mean, we see how crazy the market turns around and how quickly. In just a matter of a month, a lot of these stocks went back from some new lows to near all-time highs again.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't use it because I mean, time and time, I can find plenty of examples where suddenly your stop loss gets triggered, and then the same day it's back up, and you're out of the position, and now you're screwed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Question for you.
Are you streaming the AMD event on the 12th? At the moment, I'm not leaning towards it just because it's too. I have to see if I do, Neil. Maybe you can start it off and I'll be in late. If you want to go with that one,
switcheroo.
just because Stevie asked. Stevie was wondering. But if you're down with that, maybe I can come in late. Usually the time is my little one's nap time, and I have to put him to bed.
No, we'll figure maybe something out. Still room to run for Micron. Let me
I think so.
show you the charts. So Micron, of course, dropped to $60 or so in April, which was crazy. But then we've had that jump right here, start of May, and since then the stock is up almost 30%, just in a matter of what is it, almost a month now, up 30% in anticipation, I guess, also for the upcoming earnings reports, a bit less than 2 weeks, from now. I think the prices here were ridiculous. At 60 something dollars made 0 cents. Prices right now, again, previously, if I can can't find it, but we also had like a little run up to the earnings report, and then the stock did drop a little bit. Hopefully it won't be the case here, and they show strength in the business, especially with HBM, and who knows, maybe the other parts of it as well. But right now 110 has previously been also has seen some resistance back here in October, November. We've hit that number, and then we came back down. Again, this is technical stuff. I don't know. Black magic can have the same result. But we can see that on the weekly candles, it did rebound every time it went a little bit under the 200-day moving average. And then we see a solid rebound over the 200-day moving average, which is a pretty good sign. RSI is not overbought just yet. So yeah, it has room to run, especially because I do think that the business will continue to grow faster than what the market is expecting. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just there have been a lot of rumors, Neil, that Samsung continues to miss the boat here as well. So that's going to be pretty exciting. I don't own Micron, but I definitely see the massive bullish case for this. I mean, if you're seeing mass demand of ASIC solutions, massive demand for AI chips from an AMD and Nvidia, and you're also seeing kind of some CPUs start to have some form of HBM kind of added onto it as a chiplet style base, that there is growth opportunity for memory is definitely there. Now, the thing that Micron needs to continue to succeed in, Neo, is innovating, right? As long as it continues to innovate, I think this one will continue to benefit. While Samsung, there we go, Russell. Samsung announced delays are behind. Did they not benefiting MU? It does, and I think this is the thing, right? And HBM, we can't say HBM itself is not a commodity, Neil, because I do believe once we kind of get into HBM4, HBM3 will eventually be caught up by other players. So like, you can't just be stuck on HBM3. You need to continue to innovate. If you don't, you're gonna enter back into that commodity space so for Micron, you have to make sure that tech is innovating and moving directly, and I think it is. And they're also really good, Neil, in in this type of memories, like low power. I forget what it was called, low power CAM, but I forget what the other aspect was. And they keep getting some. I keep hearing some great reports with the partnership with Nvidia with that. That innovation has definitely helped Micron, at least right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, like you said, I mean, if you innovate once, but that you stand still, you're probably going to lose the next leg up. And I don't think that's the case with Micron right now, based on all the investment that they're making. Plus, they know very well that they're in very good position at the moment, and they do not want to lose that momentum anytime soon. So hopefully that continues.
Yeah. So let's see, Neil. Anything else you want to discuss? Any questions we have here from the viewers? I think the only thing I'm pretty excited for today, Neil, is going to be the GitLab earnings. I think tomorrow and Thursday are going to be the more exciting days. We have Oracle earnings tomorrow, which I think is going to be good to hear how they're developing there. We do also have the Nvidia Paris GTC, where it might be beneficial for a lot of AI infrastructure players. And then Thursday, we have that massive AMD AI event.
Thursday, yeah, I don't know why I always think that today were Monday, but that's because I touched grass yesterday, so I was out of
I saw your picture. I was gonna text you that. I was like, you went out to touch grass today, huh?
Yeah, touched a lot of grass and trees and whatever. United Health is, of course, a company not in the tech sector, but since it did drop that much, it came on my radar, maybe on yours as well. Of course, it did recover a little bit from the lows here, and now it's making its way back above.
Lows.
Yeah, good song. Above $300. Will we see a United Health rally now that the stock is close to 300? I think we could see a rally at the end of the month of July, because that's when they have their earnings report. And hey, This thing disappeared. Okay, that's when they have their earnings report, and that's when they'll talk a bit more about guidance and everything that's going on with the company. So I guess the market will like to hear more information, less uncertainty, and that could make the stock start to move on the way up. But we still have time until the end of July. Innovating is a must for every company. Look at Intel. Yeah, exactly. Intel was at the top, and then they were too comfortable, and they went down, and now they've been around $20 for almost a year. So forming quite a big base here. Hopefully, I mean, the longer the base, the bigger the whatever. So hopefully that whatever is a big jump up.
You're wild, bro. Let's see. But yeah. What else? Anything else happening in the market, Neil?
No, Google is just making its way back above, closing in to that 180 slowly but surely. I mean, look at these nice stairs on the way up. Amazon back at 217. That one is also flying. I won't say flying under the radar, but the recovery there has been quite strong more recently as well. With those names.
Yeah, I mean the Mac 7 have recovered, in my opinion, pretty well. And I mean, I think Nvidia is back 143. I wonder when we're gonna break out of this 150 top we're in, 140 whatever. But we've just been sitting here for a while now. But I mean, I think it's great. I mean, opportunities is, in my opinion, the great thing about Nvidia is in a year-to-date thing, you might not have done well, but if you did get into a lot of these names during the DeepSeek drama, during this drama, the trade war drama, the Blackwell drama, you're still up a nice amount, even though the stock year-to-date has pretty much not moved.
Yeah, if you bought under 100, I think you're fine. I mean, and I don't think I know you're fine. You're up. If you bought under 100, you are up probably 50% already. So not too bad. Another European name, also not in the tech sector, that's Novo Nordisk. Since the bottom here around $60, now we're closing in on that $80. So some recovery there in the stock. I've seen recently that there is an activist investor that wants to come in and maybe push the company to hire a specific CEO. So that's why the stock is also up a little bit before the market opened. Yesterday was indeed vacation, which is why I was gone for a couple of days, and that's why I think that today is Monday.
Damn, it must be nice to take vacations.
It's Sunday and Monday. I wouldn't call it a vacation, but
we're just in Miami. You were just in Vegas.
I was not just in Vegas. I was in Vegas almost a year ago. But I was in Miami. Man. Yeah. What is ad block detected? Ad block is not even activated.
Come on, Neil. Stop. Give us these advertisers some money.
No.
Hood is a wild one.
Hood is crazy.
Do you own this one, Neil?
I wish. Hood is one I did own. I made nice 2 and something X in a very short amount of time, but in my mind, I bought it because it was extremely undervalued back then, and I sold it because in my head the strategy was quick flip and we move on. But of course, in hindsight, I should have kept it. But even I'm happy. I mean, I'm happy what I did, but I should have gone into it again. Like there were plenty of times where I had the time to buy back in. I mean, even here in April, this thing was at $30 or so. Okay, and even it's true that even there I was on vacation. I was in Greece, so maybe that's should stop going on vacations because that's I'm missing too many opportunities.
Next time you go on vacation, let us know and we'll buy.
Yeah, exactly. No, because this one, it's a business I know. I have been looking at it for a while, and yeah, could have doubled. Okay, I doubled with Nebius, so I guess I can't catch them all. But yeah, Hood is wild, but they're doing what they should be doing. And for those that are complaining, oh, it should have been in the S&P 500, doesn't change anything. It really
No.
doesn't change much because they'll
Yeah,
get in eventually.
I don't focus too much right now in the fintech market, but if let's say I felt like I was comfortable with my stocks, I would put this in like a watch list. Like if I ever saw a dip, maybe
Yeah,
grab
no,
on
for
some
sure.
shares.
For sure. If it dips nicely, I'd probably open up again a position in that for sure.
Yeah.
Another fintech name
The
is
only
Nu.
thing I feel like most dips recently, have been more just overall market dips, where I don't think, especially for companies that I follow, there haven't been more of like a individual company hit.
Yeah.
I agree, Joseph.
Um, I can't trade in vacation. Neo, like the Matrix guy. No, I can trade, but when you are in vacation, you are very less likely to start looking at the markets every couple of seconds, especially not when you're on an island. So, yeah.
That's true. It's good to shut off for a bit.
Exactly, for sure. No, Nu is also a very interesting name. Has seen a small pullback, I'd say, more recently. But yeah, this also gets you exposure to Latin America, maybe future expansions as well. Fast-growing company, very profitable. Just if
Is
people are interested in
has
fintech.
HPE moved at all, Neil? There
HB
seems to
or
HPE.
HP? HP.
HPE, yeah. Um, it seems like they are going to build a new supercomputer in Germany, I believe.
Pre-market, they are barely moving.
Yeah, I think a lot. I think this was no news or something like that. Um, let's see, Nvidia investor relations. Yeah, so a few. It seems like there's a nice amount of news coming out from Nvidia right now. So Cisco and Nvidia advance security for enterprise AI factories. It's funny how many people say Cisco is dead, but it's becoming another popular stock again, which is wild to me. Um, year to date, the stock is actually up 11%. Past year, it's up 43%. Cisco, wow, impressive.
Yeah, back to
And
all-time
then
highs.
the Blue Line supercomputer will run on Nvidia's Vera Rubin. Oh, so we do see this new supercomputer. Oh, is that the one that we're seeing? So let me just send you the link, Neo, because I don't want to share right now. Maybe we can look at it together. Is there like a private chat here?
Yep. There is.
Yes, there is, but I don't know how to use it.
What do you mean?
Private
You
chat.
click on private chat and you write.
Did you get something?
Of course, I got it.
All right, I'm just making sure. Jeez, stop being so mean to me, Neo. But it does seem like Germany's LRC is gaining a new supercomputer that delivers roughly insane computing. It's going to be called the Blue Lion, and it will run on NVIDIA's Vera Rubin architecture. I do believe this is probably one of the first public announcements of a Vera Rubin computer. And Vera Rubin is going to be the successor of Blackwell, so that comes out in the second half of 2026. And HPE is going to be building this, so I think this is actually, I like this a lot. I don't follow HPE, and normally I wouldn't buy companies like that. But if you have kind of like these deals that you need to build, I think Nvidia will be like, hey, look, I know you need to build this for blah blah blah. you need the chips right away. Let me send them your way as quickly as possible.
It's interesting because here when they talk here about the Nvda supercomputer, here they talk about Dell technology. So I wonder why Dell, or maybe Dell will also have a Vera. I don't know. That's a interesting interesting announcement because they talk about Dell and they also talk about HPE because they are competitors.
Yeah.
With that said, market is open. Market is
Tesla's
open.
up, Nvidia flat, Amazon up a nice amount.
No, it's the refresh that needs to happen.
Oh, damn it. Well, Tesla's still up.
But Tesla is still up for some reason. Which I think there was a question.
Let me go to my trading view real quick. Anything interesting on my end? Damn it. Control W. Oops.
Thank you, Michael. Really appreciate that. Let's refresh it again.
What did Michael say? Thank you.
He thanks us.
Thank you, Michael,
for your knowledge.
I appreciate that too.
So it seems like the market is flat at the moment across the board. Tesla is up 1.4%.
Across the board?
Across the board. So yeah, that announcement from Nvidia, clearly nobody gives a damn about that.
Yeah, it seems nothing's moving. I mean, my chip stocks, you have some up about, TSM is up about 2% on that bullish news, it seems. Let's see. What else do I have here? I have chips, hardware and software. Applied Digital. I'm surprised Applied Digital didn't rip more than it did rip. I think it only saw like 1 or 2 days of ripping, but then it's been pretty quiet ever since. I don't own it, and I'm not saying I'm gonna go buy it, Neil, but the way the market was moving, the way CoreWeave has been moving, I would have expected Applied Digitals to be moving.
To be up more than 150 in a month?
Yeah. Especially because, like you mentioned, right, Neil?
At 460 million per year, yeah.
Per year, it was actually very beneficial for them. Like actual financial changes.
Yeah.
Nvidia is killing it. Nvidia is still up about 4.5% on the day. That's another one
you see, that one is more questionable, right? Because that one we still don't know the financial impact of that deal. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Neil.
Quick last refresh. Who's Palantir? Still 130. That's a crazy stock. I mean, you have momentum, and then you have Palantir momentum. A league of their own.
Is that CoreWeave momentum, or is CoreWeave just a meme?
I think CoreWeave still has a long way to go to reach Palantir status.
Oh, I thought you were mentioning like the movement.
Yeah, no, but Palantir has been up there for a long period of time. But then again, with all the partnerships, I guess it makes a bit of sense.
All right.
But yeah, Tesla being up, is there something that happened, or is it just deleted tweets that pushes up the stock more and more?
Delete tweets that. Any updates on robotaxi? Was that supposed to happen already? I did see like the DMV in Austin put it as a someone posted, I forget who, like a robo.
What do you mean?
Autonomous driving player.
This is when you went. It's this when you went offline. I showed this.
Oh, okay. I went offline for like a second. You showed it in a second.
And you missed the most important part. AV operators in Austin. So you have AV Ride from Nebius, phase testing. You've got Waymo deployment, and you've got Tesla in testing here as well. Same with Zoox.
Zoox, parent company, Amazon.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
All
going
right.
to be interesting. But yeah, we are in June, so we should be expecting robot taxis, and we should be expecting new and affordable vehicles. So
We're expecting a lot.
actually, we're not expecting a lot. We're just expecting what was promised. we're
That
just
is true.
we're just expecting what was promised. So yeah, so far that's the market. The market is open. These are well, the stocks that are up, down, and haven't moved much so far. We've had some of those days more recently, where things don't move that much.
Yeah, well, like you mentioned, right? I think we have like a few like data reports coming out. We have kind of the U.S. China talks, and I think the market is just pretty much waiting for some of those numbers and some of those results to really come out before saying, do we go higher or not?
I say we go higher. We only go up and up and up.
We only go up and up and up.
Yeah. Hopefully our stream as well.
All right. Hopefully.
Hopefully. All right, guys, that will be it for today. We are back tomorrow. Yeah.
We should be.
Yep.
Yeah.
We are
Maybe a
back
double
tomorrow.
stream. I don't know. No, that's Thursday, right? That's Thursday. Or maybe a
For
single
AMD,
stream.
yeah.
We'll think about it. I'll think about it.
Unless you want to wake up at 4 a.m.
No,
tomorrow.
no, definitely not. I'm okay. I like my sleep.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see you all tomorrow again, 8 a.m. Thank you all for joining. Tomorrow I'll be here on time because no meeting.